Well, hello and welcome to the Africam show, everyone, brought to you by explore.org. My name is Amy and I will be with you for today's show. We are starting off here at Safari Hook with a pelican. Lovely to hear from all of you watching. Amber, Ozzy, Jan, bowl of kittens as well. It's wonderful to have you with us. Casper, third ghost. Wonderful to hear from you, and I hope we have a fantastic show, which I'm sure we will. Lots of coffee ready to go. I can't say at the moment. The sun has come out here where I am in the low veld of South Africa. And it is a bit warm. Mr. H, you say today you banana juice. I can't say that that's something I've heard of, to be honest with all of you. I'm sure it's delicious. I hope you enjoy it. Mindy, I agree. It does sort of feel weird to see a pelican. I always thinking and associating them very much with the sea. I don't know if movies had anything to do with that, but from this view, it's difficult for me to tell if it's pink-backed or a great white pelican. It can be tough to see unless they spread their wings. Is looking very white, I will say that, which makes me lean towards great white pelican. But I'll try and see if I can spot any other defining features. It does also look like the great white pelican has a much more yellow lower mandible, that sort of piece of elasticated skin that can expand quite a lot. And that also makes me think that this is a great white pelican. Also just have a quite pink around that eye. Another feature of the great white. But pelicans very much can be found around freshwater sources. Karoo sounds absolutely delicious. You say that you have milk and cinnamon applesauce today. Is the cinnamon applesauce in the milk? I'm very interested to know, or is the cinnamon applesauce on like a bun or something like that? But cinnamon and apple is one of my favorite flavor combinations in the whole world. April Owl, you say you've got coffee with vanilla soy milk on your side and you're happy to be here from Connecticut, which I believe is in the States. So that is a wonderful dear. You say hi from Seattle. And also, thanks for being here. You're ready with your coffee as well. It's so wonderful to know that you all are on board and enjoying the show this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you may be in the world. Zygo, that's a great question. I imagine that it could get damaged after all skin rather than hard keratin, which we associate mostly with birds' beaks or bills. So, not that I have spent very much time with pelicans whatsoever, I must be honest with you all, but it is interesting to consider that. And I think were to get an injury that would really impact its survival, which is probably why we don't see too many with any injuries, if at all. I can imagine a scratch or something like that healing quite quickly, but if it was torn away or ripped open, I think the survival rate for that particular bird would be extremely low. And that sort of lower mandible is actually technically referred to as a gular pouch. Hope I'm saying that correctly. But yes, it is a very sensitive. It's full of blood vessels, and it's something I think is unique to a pelican. I don't know of too many other birds that have that particular adaptation to foraging for fish and sort of use it to sweep through the water. And I've seen it actually expand quite a large size. Looks like we have come across to the beautiful Olifants River. It does look peaceful, doesn't it? Some impalas there coming down to the river's edge. And waterbuck. Yes, waterbuck. I love a river. It is one of my weaknesses in the ball. Even when I'm going on holiday bush, I always want to make sure that I'm close to a place that has a view of a river. There's always life, there's always movement, and it's always beautiful. Kuru, thanks for clarifying. Thanks for letting me know. You say the milk is separate to the cinnamon sauce. So, I mean, that is a delicious combo. I hope you enjoy. Zygote, yes, I'm glad you're thinking along the same lines. It's always fascinating when we get to see an animal that we actually don't get to spend too much time with and more about that individual. The giraffe moving as well, some impalas, waterback, especially end of the dry season now. The rivers just attract so much life. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, that's amazing. What a treat. This is my first leopard on the Africam or with these cats. It's live. How amazing is this? Oh my word, we can even hear it lapping. I feel like I need to whisper. Oh, this is gorgeous. And we are at King's Camp in the Timberley, in the Greater Kruger here in the Lowveld. These cats are special. Oh my goodness. Look how pink that tongue is as well as it's lapping up the water. Zygote, yes. Wow, wow, wow. Jack de Boer, lovely to hear from you. A thirsty leopard indeed. Looks like a female leopard just based on the size of her head. Could be a young girl. Apparently, this could be who we know as the Zinza or Zinda female, but we're not exactly sure. Those eyes are very unique, though. And yes, thirsty cat. I wonder if she doesn't have a kill that she's been munching on today and has come down for a drink. But just look at the alertness, checking everything out constantly. Sometimes these moments, it's worth actually just being and taking in this incredible moment that we're able to capture live. Casper, yes, my thoughts exactly. The sunlight is just falling so perfectly on her face. Now she's striking a pose. Mr. H, you say yes, this is the Zinza leopard. Well, no matter who it is, yeah, definitely a female. You can see under the tail there. No testicles, but she's beautiful. And that was absolutely incredible. You can see how she's still paying attention though. The alert. Oh my goodness. What an This is amazing. Here we are also in the low felt, and two very full bellies, might I add. They look like they are definitely resting after eating something today. And often they do love to rest near water because they do get and that panting that you see is not necessarily from the heat at all. It's actually quite a cooler day today in the low felt area. But that pant is from the pressure very full bellies are putting on their diaphragm, and they can't expand their lungs to full capacity. And that pressure means that they have to pant. Bowl of kittens, I will claim it. I will say, yes, indeed, I am the good luck charm for the cats. Oh, there's more lions. Okay, it's probably a whole pride here. Not sure exactly how many, but at least 3 that we can see now. That lioness that just got up and lay down seems quite mature. Very big female. The one just behind, you can see quite a lot of spots on the legs still, so probably a subadult female there. You can see the one that's sitting up, still looking around, interested in what's happening. can imagine if ants were to arrive or something like that, they want to still wear surroundings so they can move out the way. JJ, so to your question, you're asking if lions would ever swim for fun in waterholes like hyenas do. And I don't want to say never because that's a very strong word out here in the bush to claim, but it is highly unlikely. And I've never seen it happen. And I don't think many people have, if ever, seen them swimming actually for fun. I think there has been once or twice where a lion has just laid down to cool off potentially, but in terms of splashing around and playing, they're not a carnivore that likes to get wet. Leopards as well, actually, but hyena dogs do actually enjoy the water. Mind it. I've often wondered why that would be. I think it might have to do with something to do with their fur. When it gets wet, it might have a strong smell. And the whole idea behind a leopard or lion strategy is to remain as unnoticeable as possible, especially if hunting. So, having a very strong scent about you is not very good for trying to be a successful hunter. Strawn, you're asking if these are Guernsey girls. I have no idea. I will be on you, Josh. But those of you who may know better than I do, please do confirm if you've seen anything that can identify them. But there are at least three, looks like lionesses together here. And it is the right area. Guernsey is very much in that area around it. So it very well may be. But all I know, they are three female lions who are very full this afternoon. Now, it's not unusual for three lions to be alone like this. This could constitute pride, but they may have broken off from an original group, or maybe other members of the pride have been lost or passed away due to a variety of different factors that can be out here in the wild. But also sometimes pride sort of move in different smaller groups. Sometimes a group of sub-adults will break off. Sometimes lionesses and a younger male will break off. Sometimes dominants will do their thing separately and then tap again. So when it comes to lion dynamics, it's we sort of have observed and have an idea of what the norms are with regards to prides and territories and coalitions and things like that. Males who dominate over a pride, but things change very often, especially in open systems, of course, which is what I'm referring to now. A closed system's a completely different story and managed to be taken for that particular pride. But when we look at the greater and the lines that can move freely and that sort of thing, it can really become quite complicated. And I think it just goes through seasons where lion prides can be quite, and then there can also be times where new males come into an area and cause chaos. Oh, Tim, I do have a favorite pride, and it is without a doubt the Birmingham Pride from Ngala. It was the first real pride that I got to know personally and watch cubs grow up in. I know it was a big part for many of you who may be familiar with Wild Earth. I casted there from Ngala, so it was something that I really, a pride that I got to know really well, let me put it that way. And also a pride with the white lions. I was very privileged to spend a lot of time with. And they're still around, they're still going strong. I think they're up to 25 individuals now, which is amazing. Well, we've come back over to Safari Hook just to have a look at springbuck that's come for a drink. Oh, it looks like a black stork. Very cool to see. And it looks like a beautiful afternoon over Africa today. Very peaceful. Oh, those look like some crows there that have also come for a drink. I'm actually just processing that we had a leopard live on the show still. That was incredible. An absolute high. What a perfect view. That's the one thing with a show like this, we always have front row seats, which is incredible. Oh, there's some waterbuck as well hanging around. With their very fluffy necks. I always think waterbuck are an antelope that belong more in the northern hemisphere than in the southern. It's like they are prepped and ready for cold. Oh, wonderful. Elephant has come to drink. I was just thinking we can't go through an entire show and not have any Ellie. That would be absolute first. We're here at Naledi, also in the Kruger area. And these elephants will often drink here at this trough or well, and then move over to Chilpan, which is just the left side where they'll splash themselves with mud or cool their bodies down with water. There we go, just like that. Thank you for demonstrating what I just explained. And you'll see this particular elephant has a collar on. And there are a few elephants in different areas that have been collared for research purposes. So that little collar at the top there has a transmitter, allows the signal to be transferred so that data can be collected, so that research can be done about these elephants. I just love the sounds. You can hear this elephant using its trunk to splash this mud on its back and sides. Zygote, yes, exactly. They do. Elephants are a little bit fussy when it comes to water, and if there's fresh, clean water available relative to the water that's here in the pan, they'll opt to drink that. Hi, Jive Bunny. Lovely to hear from you here as well. And yes, I have been busy this afternoon. I'm so glad that I've also been able to join you all for the Africam show every now and then again. And it's actually so wonderful to see these waterholes in time rather than the normal live at the waterhole slot, which is a bit earlier in the day. And isn't the lighting just gorgeous in the afternoon? The second Ellie's now joined this one here. I'm sure also throwing some water on it, cooling down. JJ, that's a fair question. I assume it could. I mean, the trunk has two nostrils, if you want to familiarize with it, with basically in between, and that means it's relatively smallish. So I suppose if they do suck up water, that maybe there's a stone or a twig or something in it that could get stuck. I've never seen that happen. I think they definitely are able to see it as well, which could be enough force to get whatever went up out again. But it's an interesting one, and it's something that I think could be quite funny to see. But it's not something I've ever looked at an elephant and been like, oh, it's got something stuck on its trunk. Or in its trunk, should I say. But I'm sure it is possible for that to happen. Well, we've come back over Jabalani to our sleepings to finish off today. I can't believe that we just have a minute left, but how beautiful to know that these lions are lying right at the moment. And I love to see the paws as well. That's one of my favorite views. I want to exact percentage in terms of the ratio of hunting versus our lions. Generally, females do more hunting primarily because they're part of a pride that needs to eat quite regularly in normal circumstances. But of course, there are exceptions, and male lions definitely do hunt. They're able to hunt. We've known them to take down buffaloes, canoes, everything, even completely on their own or in a pair. But do sometimes rely on the pride that they are dominant over, referring to more dominant males now that are mature. be able to then come in once the lions have done the work. Lionesses have done the work to feed from the carcass. But having said that, they also provide a service to that pride by defending the territory and keeping that pride safe, and looking after the cubs. So, in that way, it's a win win. But if we think about it, there are plenty of male lions out there that are not dominant yet, that still need to grow and therefore need to provide for themselves in order to mature. So, to give you a percentage of how much lionesses hunt versus male lions, oh, it would be very, very difficult to say. In fact, I think they hunt as much as lions need to. If we're referring just to the pride, in terms of the pride versus the dominant coalition, perhaps there is a statistic out there, um, but that's definitely the lionesses tend to hunt more than the dominant males at particular times, especially if they're all together. But that doesn't mean that those lions don't hunt or can't make kills of their own. So I hope that answers your question, Karu. Their success, however, is only 15 to 25% of all hunts end in success. So they do have a tough time out there finding something to eat. And that's why it's also rare to actually see a successful hunt, which is always an incredible thing to witness. Oh, sounds like something's at the water. Maybe an elephant's come to drink. Bird, I'm not sure. The lions haven't looked though, so that's fascinating. They're not worried. Maybe this is what I was hearing. The elephants coming at King's Cup. Sorry about that, everybody. The audio overlapped with my picture, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. It sounds like an elephant's drinking, and these lions are just relaxing. But yes, these elephants are here now having a drink. What a way to finish off the show. Beautiful close ups always here at King's Camp. Well, everyone, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show. But how fabulous was this afternoon? Thank you so much for joining me here for the Africam show. Thank you for all your comments and questions as well. And what a view to finish off. That is gorgeous. I'll hopefully see you again soon. But from us here, it's goodbye for now.